孙子兵法第1章，这是为 LibriVox.org 所提供的录音。
I'd like to say that
一切
we felt
LibriVox 的录
throughout
音都为
not
公
only
众所
that
有。
the spirit
如果你
in
想
which
知道更
on
多关
all
于
sides
LibriVox 的
those
信息
taking
或者
part
提供志
have
愿
approached
的
their work
请
has
参
been
看
the right one. It
LibriVox.org
has
的
been a
网站。
very cooperative, very
第一
friendly
章
approach, but
史记
also
第一
that we have made
孙子
very
曰
useful
兵者
and
国之
significant
大事
progress.
This is
以
not
生之
like
地
an
存
individual
亡之
science
道
project,
不
like
可
finding
不
out
察
how
也
how a particular thing
故
works
今之
or
以
finding
物
out how to
事
cure a
效
disease.
之以
It's not
器
like that. It's
而
collecting
所其
fundamental
行
information and making it
一
available.
曰道
Therefore,
二
it's
曰
obviously
天
extremely important
三
in
曰
this area
地
more than any other
四曰
to be
将
open and share
五曰
everything.
法道者
If anything is
令民于
characteristic
上同
for
意何以
ideologies
知死
and
何以
ideological
知生
thinkers,
而
it
不
is
威
the
也
distraction of
天者
language
阴阳
because
寒暑
of the
时至也
vulgarization of the
地
intellectual
者
debate
远
and
近
a
显
distinctly
异广狭
ochlocratic
死分也
coloring of
将
public
者
discussion.
智信
all the
仁
Romance
勇
languages,
言
except for
也
French, you
法者
can delete
取
the
志
subject of a sentence.
官道
The
主
idea of a
用也
national language is a
凡
pretty
此五
modern
者
phenomenon.
将
It
莫
has to
不
do with the
闻
rise of
知之
nationalism
者
and
胜
communication.
不知者不
She's
胜
worried
故效
about
之以器
how
而所其
the
行
language she
曰
dreams in,
主孰有道
given to her
将
at
孰有
birth,
能
is
天地孰
handed,
得法令孰
put
行
into
兵
service.
众孰从
Being a
士卒
writer,
孰练
she thinks of language partly as a
吾以此
system,
之胜负矣
partly as a living
将之
thing
无
over
尽
which one has
用之
control,
必胜留
but
之
mostly
将不
as
尽无尽
agents,
用之必败
as an act
既
with
立
consequences.
听乃为之事以佐其外事者因利而治权也兵者诡道也故能而示之不能用而示之不用近
The
而
terror
示之
threat
远
to our nation did not emerge on September 11th. Long before that day, radical, freedom-hating terrorists declared war on America and on the civilized world. The attack on the Marine barracks in Lebanon in 1983, the hijacking of the Aquila Laurel in 1985, the rise of al-Qaeda and the bombing of the World Trade Center in 1993, the attacks on American installations in Saudi Arabia in 1995 and 1996, the East Africa bombings of 1998, the attack on the USS Cole in 2000.
What does it mean to live at the end of time? The reason is, since I've been working on ecology, I often get the objection that this is an apocalyptic discourse.
Nein, ich würde sagen, die andere ist politisch steril. Darüber würden wir ein langes Kolloquium haben. Sehen Sie, zu einer Gruppe zu gehören ist erst einmal eine natürliche Gegebenheit.
The first signs, I think, that one has to worry about is if there is a leader who actually exacerbates differences.
We all realize that we made mistakes from top to the bottom, all of us. We are trying to put them right. And we've had a committee from the United Kingdom been looking into what we should do in the future.
It was intrinsic in the whole attitude of the government of Kenya that an African life wasn't as important as a European life. The very people who were in charge of the security forces, who were committing these atrocities, were the ones who sat in judgment on the case.
The consequences of this inequality now affect not just our economics, not just a moral issue. It affects our politics, it affects our society. We are paying a very high price for this inequality.
His instincts on the big stuff are really, really good. He's turned America from a warmongering nation into being a peace broker. And he also gets that it's the small men and women out there who've been just pushed aside for the corporates.
He envies Putin, he envies Kim Jong-un. Trump wants to run his office the way he runs his business. So psychologically, Trump is obedient to Putin.
I don't know whether the bird you are holding is dead or alive. But what I do know is that it is in your hands.